Welcome back to another episode of the Top Attorneys of North America podcast. Today's guest brings not only legal expertise, but a global perspective and a fearless voice. Joining us today is Mr. Valentine Okwara, an accomplished attorney with an impressive academic pedigree, earning his LLM from the University of Westminster, his LLB from the University of Buckingham, and a BA in philosophy from the University of Cross River State in Nigeria. Since arriving in the United States in December of 2001, he has built a respected legal career right here in New York, becoming a passionate advocate for justice and accountability. Valentine isn't afraid to speak his mind, whether it's about the inner workings of the New York legal system, concerns about judicial overreach, or even global issues like Nigerian politics and international currency dynamics. This is going to be a powerful, thought-provoking conversation, so let's get right into it. Mr. Okwara, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir. Now, I know you came to the United States in December 2001. What was that transition like, and what drove you to pursue law here in New York?
Before I came over here, I was already studying LLB in England. So I happened to meet a girl, and we became friends, and eventually I married her, and she's a US citizen. So she insists that I have to, if I finish my studies, I have to come down to US.
Mm-hmm.
So she's from Ohio. So eventually I do come down to her regularly. But when I finish my studies, I decided we have to move down to New York. Because, New York is a multicultural city, and where everybody can, realize their potentials. So that's how I moved down to New York.
Yes, sir. With your education from the University of Westminster, the University of Buckingham, how did your international legal training shape your perspective on the U.S. legal system?
The good thing about U.S. legal system with that of England is they all have the same substructure, and that is mainly based on common law. So in United States, they codify most of the law. We call it constitutional law now. But, the basis is still based on the common law. So,
Yes.
the legal matters is a kind of, or legal knowledge is a kind of knowing how to read a map. Once you know the basis, then you can be able to look at precedents and be able to craft out a legal argument in any case. The most important is just to have that training, the basic training. So
Yes,
it's not all that difficult for anybody that is trained in England to be able to migrate to US and be able to practice in US. Although you have to meet a whole lot of challenges, but it's something that is doable.
Yes, sir. I mean, you have a very diverse educational background. What initially inspired you to become an attorney?
First of all, sometimes we used to say that legal knowledge, you must have a kind of calling like somebody become a priest or somebody become, a medical doctor. You have to have that innate calling. So it's not something people suddenly say, I want to be a lawyer, because you have to start from a very long time to train yourself on how to read voluminous documents and be able to understand the detail, even the finest details, So when you're able to do that, and sometimes you have to have the passion. So that will drive you if you want to do well in legal practice. The most important is that is the only thing you're gonna love. In fact, your legal practice and your wife will compete with your love, and usually the legal practice usually winner. So that's why most lawyers, there's always complaint. He's not at home. He's not. he didn't do this, he didn't, because to do research, to file one appellate case can take you up to 6 months, just one, if you want to do a very good job, And the only way people will come to you is when they see that you put a reasonable time and detail and understand their case and know their file. You can't go to court without knowing everything about your file, the detail of the case. That is where the issue is. So that is it. Once you have those basics, then you can move forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know from doing my research, you practice in a couple areas of law. What areas do you find most fulfilling, and why?
Mainly is corporate finance. The simple reason is because there is money there. You have to know also that lawyers are being driven by money to to, to be able to do that job. There is money. So most people that have companies or want to buy houses or have issues concerning corporation or in breach of contract, these people are mainly people that can afford to pay. So, and you see, New York is a very commercialized city, highly, highly commercialized city, the best commercialized city in the world. So you see, you're going to be dealing with contract every day in New York. If you are practicing in New York, you have to deal with all corporation, you have to do with bank, you have to do. Uh, so that is eventually the area that I spend a whole lot of time to do. I assume most banks, like during the time we have the coronavirus, that the New York State gave some money to some people, and some people driving Uber, to help them to transit after the ravage of coronavirus. Most
Yeah.
of these people, especially the minorities, they go to bank. They want to get that money in bulk. Like some people that are giving like 100,000, 120,000, for instance. They want to go and get it in bulk, to use it in bulk to do something. And initially, banks don't get how to dispose this money. So sometimes the bank will not give. I know some of my clients that banks refuse to give this money. In fact, they put a hold on it.
Hmm.
So and these individuals want that money in bulk. They don't want the bank to split it for them. So they have to return me. I have to compare the bank. There is no law that tells you don't have to disperse this money in that block. If the person, sometimes they will just put a restraint on the account so that
Now,
they.
are you talking about like the EIDL SBA loans that people?
Yeah, some of them is SPA loan. Some of them is not even loan at all. Some of them is this money that was given. I think is a grant that was given to individuals to help them, like individual that have people working for them,
Right.
five
That was the PPP.
PPP, something like that. So
Yes.
this PPP money, some people that have 5, 6, 7 workers working for them. So
Hmm.
most often these owners of these businesses, they want that money in block. They just don't want to use their card and go. Some of them, they want it cash. They want to use it to, buy one equipment or do this, and the bank are not willing to really initially, but later on they change, they understand. So we have to go to federal court to file actions against the bank to be able to compel them to release this money to these individuals. So so the reason I'm giving you this example is that is how it is in New York. Almost everything in this New York, you have to get lawyers involved. If you are involved in any corporation, like example, you see our president, is a New York real estate broker, a real estate person here. So he knows how the legal system here when it comes to real estate or corporation in general. So that's the area we specialize here. That's the area we practice. We do a lot of corporate cases, but we also sometimes do cases in real estate. Landlord and tenant issue is a very big issue in New York. Eviction is a very big issue. The New York State has a whole lot of series of laws to make sure that you can't just wake up overnight and evict a tenant. So, in fact, they set up even a group of what, like here, they call it Queens Defenders, Queen Legal Services. These people, they job is to just to make sure you are not able to evict a tenant easily. So
Yes,
one
sir.
tenant and landlord case can take up to several months, even up to 1 year in court before you be successful to, even when you're able to obtain judgment of possession in court, it may take you a couple of months to be able to get warrant to remove the individual. So it
Yes, sir.
becomes a very hot area for lawyers to get involved. And the advantages with this area of law is you have when it's going to begin, and you'll be able to anticipate when it's ending, when it's going to end. And because it's a expedited process, so it doesn't, you can calculate and know, oh well, this case is gonna like 6 months or 7 months before I finish it. Unlike major breach of contract cases or negligent cases, like those kind of cases, you may not put a timeline on them because they may require extensive discoveries and this and that. Do you understand? So
Yes.
that's the point.
Understood. And in listening to you speak, I mean, it's obvious that you are well versed within the New York judicial system. Obviously, you can navigate the system very well. And I know from doing our pre interview that you've been outspoken about your concerns regarding the New York judicial system. What specifically do you believe needs to change?
New York has a very nice legal system, um, a very nice legal system. But you have to know that for some of us, we are colored, and whether people say that or not, this country have issue when you are a colored man walking into a court. So I do see it all the time, every day. And that also scares a lot of colored people, including black people, to get involved in this job. They will prefer to go and work for City of New York, or to go and work for a corporation, or go and work for a law firm that will not send them to court. So, but most judges, the mere fact that I have accent, you see, as I'm talking, that I have an accent, that sometimes we tip them off. They are not used to that. They are not used to seeing people coming in, speaking, and maybe they don't even understand the words they are using or the way they are framing their argument. They don't even get it. So that also applies to other areas. Some of us, when we are going to court, we carry this burden, and it's a very heavy burden to go to court to argue. So, so you see, everybody now know who they call Pam Bondi, the woman. They know that the
Yes.
reason most people get um, tipped off by her is because of people can see the way she conduct herself and all these uh, hearings with the Congress. Okay, but there's a whole lot of people like Pam Bondi in the legal system. In fact, people that are raising like her are mainly the people that are being opportune to be able to be appointed as judges. So you can imagine people that are raising like that, how difficult it is if you're a colored person, especially a colored man, to be able to convince them to see a viewpoint. Even when it's grounded in law, they may not want to listen to you. And there are many of them. They have the political contact, they have all the contact. Here where I practice in Queens, you can lose a major case just based on what is called discovery.
Yes,
How
sir.
would you lose that case? It's just simply your opponent may be making a ridiculous demand, telling you to supply this document. This you keep on explaining that these documents are not available. Now they will keep on filing motion. This is a skill set. It's not like they're doing it as if they don't know what they're doing. I'm talking about a skill set of how to win a case. They keep on filing motion, telling the judge you are not cooperating. And most of the time, most of these judges may be people they know, people that have been appearing in front of for years and years. And then the judge will stipulate in maybe one of the others, if you don't produce so and so document, you have 30 days to produce it. If you don't produce it, I'm going to strike your answer to this complaint. and you will not be able to produce that document because you have no document to produce. You can swear affidavit and send, they say they reject it, and then the judge, after 30 days, your answer will be stricken out. So what do? If you file appeal, the appellate court in New York is the best in the world. You may be successful, but the problem is how many people has money? How many people has money to go and pay a lawyer to do all the work? In fact, binding a simple paper for appellate court, the law offices that prepare this binding, but that's putting the the note together. Sometimes it's up to 7,000, 10,000 in most cases. And people don't have that bulk money to pay. Some of them are, single mothers. Some of them are people that are started in their business. They don't have a lot of money to do that. So, and even if they have money and you go to appellate court, the appellate court will be constrained because in any case that a judge is ruling based on, I see them in the court, I don't believe him. The appellate court cannot overturn a court, the first court that see these individuals testify, that can assess these individuals based on their testimony and render judgment based on that, on their discretion. Appellate court, because it's done vacate cases on discretion, because judges are allowed to do this discretion, use this discretion, because they are the ones that see you. The appellate court only see papers. They are very, very good anyway, because once they spot anything, they're going to be able to, once you go contrary to the law, they will correct it, for sure. But before you get to that point of law, this is where the mistake is. You see, what I'm telling you now is how somebody can lose a very good case that person is supposed to win. And it does happen. It does happen. I'm just trying to simplify it. Those of us that are black people that goes to court, we lose our cases just only on this. Once your answer is stricken, sometimes the case is put down for inquest. It's no more trial. So it doesn't matter how learned you are, how good you are, how that case. You see, the judge have tilted it that you're going to lose. So, and I'm telling you, imagine somebody like Bondi is sitting like where you are now, and I'm a lawyer, black lawyer, trying to address her, trying to explain. Most of them will dismiss you right away. The burden is more when you are African, black African, not black American. I mean black African, because first you are black, two you have accent, three most of these judges, even when they don't know in detail the law like you do, but they will write you off. The mere fact that you are a black guy, they write you off. I give you one example. I was in front of a judge, and that judge was telling me, I don't sign emergency order to show cause in a foreclosure cases. I don't do it. The reason I don't do it is before these banks will start foreclosure, before they will foreclose their house, you must have known that you are not paying your mortgage, sometimes for months, sometimes for years. So when they start a foreclosure at the last minute, you want me to sign order to show cause to stop them from foreclosing. I'm never going to do it. I said, really? He said, yeah, I don't do it. I told them, Your Honor, but you are wrong. You are 100% wrong. You are the last hope of these people. There is a reason people would default in not paying their mortgage. There is a very big reason that they need to be given a second chance. And nobody can give them that chance except you. And you know the consequence when you refuse to sign this thing. These people will be thrown out from there. Most of their life, they have worked for that particular property they are living. All their life, they have worked for it. That is the only investment they have in this world. And you have to tell them, because you didn't sign just that paper to give them the opportunity to go forward to argue the reason and see if there is any way this particular mortgage instrument will be modified. After that, I told her that, Your Honor, but do you know that this particular mortgage instrument, they are derivative documents? Most of the time, before these banks you are saying, they have made their money. They have made their money because when These papers are put together, all these mortgage papers are put together. When they put it together, it's called collateral debt obligation. These collateral debt obligations are being securitized and sell, and these banks syndicate it. They pay these banks off. They pay these mortgage companies off. So you have to understand that most of these banks, these lawyers coming in front of you, the bank themselves has already been paid a long time about this. The receivable they receive every month from mortgage payment is not, it's just a profit. So you have, but even then, you have to understand how it is. There is segregation in this country, and it does continue to apply. When some people are born, they are born from a very good family. They live like a longer life. They never have contact with black people or any other people. They have teachers in the house. They are properly trained in the house. They are very good in their studies. They happen to get admission to study at Columbia University or at Harvard or in any of these schools. They finish their schools in within 3 years or 4 years. They're able to get to work to be court assistant or work in the court as court attorney. After 10, 15 years, they become a judge. These people don't know what the common man is saying in the street. They only know the law, but they don't know the other part of life, that sometimes life doesn't start or end in only the legal knowledge, that you have to also know life by interaction you have with people. And for those of us here that are in the street, people walking and tell us their problem, it's traumatic when people will come here and start crying, telling you, and you see them, you feel them because you are part of them. And then you file emergency application to the court just to give you the opportunity for the court to hear you. That judge signing the emergency application may not be the judge to hear this case. But without her or him, you will not have the opportunity to at least make the argument to a judge that will either decide to give you the opportunity or not. And the worst part is that most of the time, these banks, these mortgage banks, the mortgagees, they don't do what is called proper service. They don't serve these people properly. They just give these process servers. They go there, they throw these papers. Some of them, they mail it. These people did not receive it for months and months and months until they receive the one to come to court. Do you understand me? They don't know that there is even foreclosure proceeding going against them. Some of them will know, because if you don't pay your mortgage for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you know that the bank will foreclose you. But most people are not all that educated to know how this process works. So it's their job to go and explain to the judge. And there is a whole lot of federal laws that guide anybody getting involved in mortgage in this country, especially in New York. There is processes you have to go. You have to give people opportunity to know that they are defaulting, talk to them why they are defaulting, give them all opportunities to know this is what resources you can tap to help you. These banks, they don't do it. They just go to court and immediately want to get possession of the property and sell it, because when they do it, they make profit. You understand? So imagine a judge telling you, oh, I can't sign emergency order to show up. So the reason I'm giving this example is that is exactly the mindset most people have because of their upbringing, their background they have. Some of them are very, very from rich family. They don't know about people suffering. They don't even know that there are people that are suffering in this country. You understand me? So this is the legal situation we have. If I have the opportunity, or if I'm asked, how can you refine this? How can you do to be able to help? I think I'm going to advise that the appellate court should not always believe in whenever the judge say, I see them, I evaluate them, therefore I don't believe him. This is, it's called in legal term discretion. The appellate court should always look into discretion seriously. Especially, I have a case now, a prenatal case where a man that has a corporation, he married this poor woman from India. The woman was working in one of these telephone companies. He met her there and married her and give her all the promises, take her to his home. This woman lived with him. The woman was pregnant for their first child. And he prepared a prenuptial agreement with his friend lawyer. And they tell the woman to come, we want to sign this paper, your immigration papers, we want to do to adjust your status. The woman don't know anything. She went there and signed all these papers. She don't know that the paper she's signing is prenuptial agreement. And now we did everything to explain to the judge that this woman don't know what she's signing when she's signing it. You have to know before. Prenuptial is a contract. It's a contract between a prospective man and a prospective wife. Sometimes most of these women, they fall in love. They don't know what they are doing when they fall in love, especially the one that is pregnant. They know that this man is the man that is going to marry me and I'm bearing that man's child. That's alone is enough. And apart from that, the law sometimes are very, very clear that before any woman with anybody, man or a man, will sign up what is called spousal support, there has to be a financial disclosure so that the woman will know what he or she is signing off. You understand? But most of people don't come out with this financial disclosure because most of the time, I'm talking about man because I'm a man. No, they don't want their wife to see how much they have or how much they make. So they don't show that financial disclosure. And most of the time, most of the judges, you think they will know this law. They don't. And any effort to explain to them, you run into trouble. If you keep on insisting, explaining to them that, no, this is wrong, you're going to run into trouble. And therefore, the best thing you're going to avoid, because tomorrow you're going to see the same judge, next tomorrow you're going to see the same judge in 1 month. This is the area of practice. If you make her angry or make him angry, you're going to run into trouble because, any other time you come in there, he's not going to be talking to you in good faith. They understand it? This is the problem those of us have. So if my recommendation is for the appellate court to know that whenever it comes to colored people in this country, especially New York is a multicultural place, to be able to look in detail most of these applications coming out to the appellate court from colored people, because there's things hidden in it that you will not see. Only the name enough only a name is enough for you to lose a case. Only name. Just because your name is not bearing the right name it's supposed to be, or they look you up, you didn't school in major university, then they write you off. Anything you are talking, they write you off. This is how it is. Just imagine Pam Bondi. Imagine she's a judge somewhere. You want to come in, you want to tell him you're a lawyer, you know the law. She will look at you as if you don't know what you're talking about. She wouldn't even have time to listen to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's the difficulty we do have here.
So you feel that some judges lack sufficient legal knowledge, some are, as you said, like out of touch, maybe prejudiced, and obviously there should be more accountability or oversight when it comes to judges, because these issues, like you said, are impacting everyday people who rely on the legal system for fairness and justice. I mean, it just blows my mind that it still happens,
in a
state like New York.
It happens. I have a client that wants to kill himself here. He's from Egypt. He came here from Egypt. He's he has a corner store and he's working hard. He lost his case, not because he's supposed to lose it, just because I'm a black man and the judge don't like me. That's it. It's not because, in fact, he has to go to appellate court. Appellate court overturned the decision. I told him, I can't go to appellate court because you don't have money to pay, and I don't have the resources to be able to carry this case. He go behind me and go and do the application himself in the appellate court. They overturned that decision. Can you imagine? He himself, he didn't have a lawyer. And then they asked the court here, the lower court here, the housing court here, to redo it and do it exactly as they directed. Still, the judge that is presiding the case ruled against him based on what I'm telling you now, that he didn't believe him, didn't believe me. Everything I'm saying, even the daughter, we have like 6 witnesses, and the other party that has a lot of money, that is the plaintiff in the case, don't
even with the higher court sending it back down with instruction.
Exactly.
Wow.
Now, when the man went back to the court, to the appellate court again, the appellate court said they didn't see anything wrong in the decision. They cannot override the judge's discretion, so they cannot disturb that judgment. Do you understand me? The man came here, he wanted to kill himself. So the point I'm making is that most of the judges, they don't know the implication of the actions they do take, because they don't mix up with people. They don't know the average person. You know, some of them, once they make them this judge, in United States is a very big country, very rich country, the best country in the world. So with all the resources. So when somebody happens to find themselves to be a judge, they feel they're on top of the world. They don't relate to the common man, the common person on the street. They don't want to know. And they don't know that what the papers in front of them that are signing, the consequences enormous. It's those of us in the street. That man, I'm telling you, still comes here every day. The point is that he was in the hospital, and the marshal went and closed his store, and they throw away all his things in the basement in his store. They throw them away. He lost everything, and he was in hospital, admitted in hospital to do a surgery. The man, up to now, anytime he come here, he'll go down with tears. He filed a complaint with the Judicial Ethics Committee against the judge. They say she didn't do anything wrong, she just did her job. So this is okay. You see that the system will push somebody to the wall. And people don't know when this person is pushed to the wall. They will only react if this person decides to take the laws into their hand. People don't know the suffering. These judges don't know the suffering. The suffering they inflict on people for not actually looking into the details of the cases. No, but rather making decision based on, oh, I don't like the lawyer you have. Because you see, you have 10 witnesses to appear for. You say, no, I'm not going to allow 10 witnesses. I'm only going to allow 3. Do you understand me? Why? Because he or she knows that if you have 10 witnesses appearing, testifying over the same thing, it's very likely that anybody that sees it will say, oh, well, these 10 people cannot come to court and be testifying on something that is not correct. But when there are 2, if you limit them to 2, the example I'm trying to give you is pre-trial things that will make you to lose a case. Before even the case begins to appear in court, the trial begins. These are what I'm trying to tell you. In this level, you have already lost the case. Because you have 10 witnesses, you're only going to have 3 now to testify. Do you understand me? I have a man in Astoria here in New York. A very big company there. They are building a multi-story house adjacent to his house. This multi-story, why they are doing it, they messed his basement, flooded his house. In fact, the whole of his house, the structural integrity was compromised completely. He and his children can no more live in that house. They don't have money. They have to move out from this house. Within this time, I could not even reach them. If I call on the phone, I cannot get them. Eventually, the man caught the coronavirus too. The coronavirus, he caught it, and he was in the hospital. He was even intubated in the hospital. I tried to reach him. The wife is a Muslim woman. They are not people you can have their number. I don't have any way to get in touch. I have to go to this place. I couldn't, the door was locked. I couldn't see anybody. And the other party is sending the big company. They have unlimited resources. They are sending me documentary demand. We need this, we need that, we need that. And I cannot see my client. Before I could see him, he has to get money from his brother, rebuild this house, and his family, they're moving back. That is how, his name is Rahman. That's how I was able to see the man again. Then he came here, he was telling me the situation he was going through. On this particular case now, a judge dismissed it. Dismissed it just simply to say, oh, you didn't produce the document when you are asked to produce it. Even
Now,
when
I mean, you've been practicing a long time, Valentine, and you know you're highlighting a lot of the negatives. And when I listen to you speak, you know, you say some judges or some courts. Is it all bad, or has there been?
no, it's not all bad. No, that is not all bad, but it's very important that I have to highlight this, because if there is any way to continue to make correction, there is no limit to correct. You understand? But it's
Yes,
very,
sir.
it's very, very important to note there is a reason when you go to court, you don't see a lot of black men coming to court. There is a reason. This reason is one of these things that I'm highlighting. Not all of them have the opportunity like I do have now to continue to explain to this. And it becomes upon me that if you have the opportunity, say it, because you are the only one that can say it. We don't have a lot of people doing it to say it. So that is the point. The point is that it's not all bad. It's just that there is some. This is part of the thing that is in the system and is intertwined with the American history. What I'm trying to explain to you.
Yes, sir. Are you a part of any oversight committees, or are you a part of any groups that are looking to bring equality or oversight to the
No,
judicial system?
no, I don't want to get involved in that. You have to understand that despite I'm a U.S. citizen, but I came from Africa.
Yes, sir.
So I can't get myself involved in something that I will begin to create, that will create difficult for me going to court and the judge saying that I'm complaining, filing complaint. Most of the time, my client will come here and say, "Oh, tell me how I can file complaint." I say, "No, I don't get involved in that. I
Yeah,
have a family that I
then
have to feed."
then you're a target.
Exactly. I don't want to get involved in that. Even the ones that make me angry and rule against me, I try to be friendly to them. I try to, greet them properly, behave properly. So
Yeah,
I'm from somewhere that I came there. Despite that, I'm a US citizen, but I have to know that I don't have the backbone to get myself involved or with any judge or with anybody, especially judges that can determine even whether you can practice or not practice in New York.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And one of the things that you said that stuck with me, you're a proud American, and
Yes,
I love that. But you're also a proud Nigerian.
yes,
Uh, so let's shift gears a little bit, because I know that you're very passionate about Nigerian politics.
yes.
What are some of the key issues you think that we should be paying attention to right now?
Yeah. Recently, we have a new government in Nigeria that I think about 2 years now. This new government. This government is making a very, 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 very bad and difficult strategic blunder. That blunder is, if you know the history, you know that for a very, very long time now, for up to 40 years or more than that, I think since 1973, everybody in this world or every country in this world, every corporation in this world that want to buy petroleum, they have to do that with dollar. This is the foundation to which those of us have been brought up. And there's nothing wrong about it. That is the reason me and you can be here now talking, because the reason that everybody spend money to buy this dollar help this country to be able to develop, to be able to invent, and that invention trickles down to everybody, including those of us in third world countries. People don't look at the good things that America is doing globally. They only look at maybe if there is a mistake or one government make mistake. So recently, the Nigerian government just decided to say, going forward, I think last year, October or November, they say going forward, we're going to sell our oil now, both in dollar and in Chinese currency,
In the one.
yuan.
Wow.
This is an attack. I can tell you, as a Nigerian, I'm never happy, because this is an attack on the foundation of the United States. And you have to know that we are brought up with this foundation, a foundation that United States and United Kingdom led. We can't just wake up and overnight we abandon this country, these two countries. We are not a small country. We are not Togo. We are not all this small country with 10, 15. We are a country of 250 million. We can't just wake up and start behaving like South Africa. Start entering. We have been non-aligned all through the Cold War. The Nigerian government has been non-aligned all through. And that is what sustained us. If you see me talking to you now, I'm talking to you because of the foundation that the British people have laid in Nigeria. And that is educational foundation. You cannot quantify it in money. We can't just wake up and abandon the people that laid this foundation. We can't do that. Just because of, China. I like China. Make no mistake about it. I like Russia. Make no mistake about it. But we can't, every system we have in Nigeria is being set up by British and American way of doing things. And it's the best. I'm just telling you clearly, it's the best. We supposed to stay, to continue. We can't just wake up and abandon United States because of maybe one government. No, or abandon the British government. This is no-go area. We have to go back. If I have to advise Nigerian government, we have to continue. Anybody that wants to buy our oil must buy it in dollar. All our debt, all Nigerian debt, they are all denominated in dollar. There is nothing wrong in this arrangement. We have to continue it. If you check here in the United States, 70% of medical doctors, black medical doctors in the United States, are from Nigeria. There is a reason. The reason is because of the substructure that was laid down in Nigeria by the British government. That substructure is what gives us the opportunity to be able to come in here, be able to compete. Even before the American government, around 90s, during the 70s, they were able to help some intelligent men and women in Nigeria, bring them over here and train them. So we can just wake up overnight and say, oh, go to hell, we have to go and join BRICS, we have to. No, that is not a good policy at all. We have to stick with this country and England and try to come up with a changing world. We know the world is changing, but we have to put in our own input. Okay, look here. Most Nigerian music artists, they come to United States. They have been welcomed, millions. When they come in all these stadiums to perform, millions of Americans are there. That will show you the extent of intertwined we are with United States. So you can't just wake up overnight and abandon this. I'm going to advise the Nigerian government that this is a fundamental mistake and is unacceptable. We have to go back. You are almost like digging out a foundation. In fact, in Nigeria, the United States government is building the biggest embassy they have in the world. It's in Nigeria, because they recognize that Nigeria is a very big potential. So they can't help us all this time, helping us, setting up our academic system, taking our people, training them, bringing us, and now we feel we can be confident to do things by ourselves. Now we have to go to Russia, we have to go to China. That is not how to do. We can
Yeah.
trade with them, we can do business with them, but we cannot align to them. If it comes to alignment, we have to continue to stay with the United States. That's my opinion. And I think it's a sound policy for our government to go back and stick with this, no matter what. That's my
Yes, sir.
opinion.
Yes, sir. Firstly, I think that's an interesting statistic that you gave me about Nigerian doctors. Secondly, I do agree with your stance on using the right currency when it comes to selling oil or purchasing oil. So I want to ask, how do you think that Nigeria's currency decision will impact not only their economy but their global standing?
Okay, it impacting because you have to understand that policymakers in the United States knows that this is a fundamental shift. So they can't just sit back. Now it's very difficult for Nigerians to come over here to come and study. It's very difficult to obtain a student visa to come over here now. It's very difficult to have exposure to United States technology that Nigeria as a developing country need, because you know that they can't just keep quiet. They know anybody in the government that is policymaker in this country knows that Nigeria is shifting. And Nigeria is a country of almost more than 200 million. You see, we are not
Mm,
like South Africa. It's very consequential when a country, almost the biggest economy in Africa, has to overnight they want to turn their back to United States by joining BRICS, or turn their back against England by joining all these BRICS and all this. I have no problem with doing business with everybody in the globe. I have no problem with that. But in terms of our alignment will continue to remain where we are with the United States. People like us, we are trained in England. We have the British people give us this opportunity to be trained. Unfortunately, maybe France did not give this liberal opportunity to the people they colonized. But early or on, the British and English-speaking countries knows the advantage of exposing the people they are colonizing to the Western education. That is the only reason we can begin to talk. We can begin to people see us, we can make music and we make money and get the world exposure. This is the foundation. Had they not done it, we would be like one of these, labor. If you come to Nigeria, it's almost there is not more difference between there and some areas in the United States. We are intertwined. So it's painful that we're gonna at this point we say, oh well, we're gonna go and BRICS is not only a corporation it's not only corporation to make business. No, it has a lot. It's just anti-American setup. Everybody has to know that there is no need of coloring it or trying to. It's just something that is set up against America by
yes, sir.
Russia and China. So we
Yeah.
have to see it as Nigerian government should see this. It's not something that is. I know China is doing a lot of investment in Nigeria, but they are just starting. This is just 20 years. We don't know what is going to happen in the next 20 years. But with this country, with England, we have been with them for more than 50, in fact, since our beginning. So we
Yes.
can predict how they can act. We can with our relationship shouldn't be of one government. It's about the American people and British people, not about a particular government that we did not like at a particular time. You understand? So we anywhere the United States and England is, that should be where Nigeria has to be.
Yes, sir. I knew this was going to be a great interview. I learned so much, and you're clearly passionate about justice, about accountability, Nigerian politics. Uh, where does this drive come from?
Oh well, I came here when I was almost. I left my country when I was like 25 years. So I'm brought up in this system. I'm part of the system, and I'm a lawyer. You see, so I'm in this system. There's no way I can say where it come from. I'm part of it. So if people like us cannot say or talk to Nigerian government, who then is gonna? We are here. Most people in over there in where I come from, they don't know how it is over here. But we are lucky we are here, and we can also go back and see how it is over there. So it's our duty to point out when they are making a fundamental mistake, a titanic shift. We can point out that this is going wrong, and they are judging based on the time now. But that is not how it's supposed to be. When you are making this type of shift, it's highly strategic that you can't look only now as the issue. No, you have to look at the history and you have to look at the future,
Yes,
not
sir.
just make a decision now. That is the problem. That is why we have to speak out. That is why we have to let the government know that this is not the way to go by to go.
Yes, sir. Let me ask you this. What advice would you give to a young or an aspiring attorney, law student, of color, different cultural background, Nigerian, looking to make an impact? What would you tell them?
You you have to you have to actually be determined. The only way you can be successful is determination, because you're going to have a whole lot of obstacles and hurdles and everything. But if you are determined and focused, just like I told you here, that if you want to be a good lawyer, I don't know for other people, but if you're a color guy, you have to, your wife will compete with your practice in terms when it comes to love. Because this job, you have to love the job more than even you love your wife to be able to make headway on it. So my advice is you have to be really focused, and then you have to be highly determined. And if these two things combined, you will be successful, especially in New York, because New York is one of the most tolerant society anybody can ever imagine. More tolerant than whatever anybody that come here and is determined, you will be able to be successful as long as you want to come here and work hard. I saw around me, I I handle cases from Indonesia, India, all Europeans, all part. I see that everybody is playing their role. As long as you come here, I saw some people from Bangladesh. They come in here, they start driving Uber. Within 2, 3 years, they're able to buy a house, move on with their life. They train their children in school here. They discipline their children. So once you are determined, you're gonna make it. So any student, anybody that is a student here, or anybody from another jurisdiction, you want to come here, you want to practice as a lawyer, you want to be successful, you have to know one thing. You have to be, number one, determined, and you have to play by the rule. If you're not going to play by the rule, you're going to have problem. But once you play by the rule and you are determined, you'll be able to make it.
Yes, sir. Words of wisdom, definitely, especially here. I mean, they say that's the American dream, but that's a New York dream.
Yes.
I definitely feel that.
Yes.
Looking ahead, what are your goals? I know you said that you don't want to wear a target. You have your family to take care of, and you want to continue. But where do you see yourself professionally, personally? Are you going to run for local office someday?
No, not here in this country, but maybe in Nigeria.
Okay.
I have two of my kids that are growing up. I just want to make sure they go to college and stay where I am and make sure I bring them up to college. My daughter is here in the university here. Hopefully she's gonna go. She said, I don't want to get involved in law. Dad, I see what you are going through every day. So I want to be a medical doctor. I don't want to be like you. I want to go finish my work, go and sleep. You 10 o'clock, you go back to the office, you stay there till 2. So I don't want to do that. So I want to help them at least. I have 4 kids to help them at least they finish college. Maybe before I know what next I can do. But in terms of office, it's not for here. Maybe I'll go back to Nigeria and try. One of the reasons they send us out is when we get this knowledge, we bring it back and come back to give it to our own people and help them to grow up. Hopefully that is what I'm gonna do in future.
Yes, sir. No matter what you do, I wish you the best. And if for our listeners that would like to reach out to you, if they have further questions or would like to retain your services, what's the best phone number? Is there a website? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way is my phone number, 718-558-5656, or my email address, and that is Valentino, VALANDDINO at AOL.com. I'm still old school. I use AOL. So we have Okwara and Associate website. Once you Google Okwara and Associate, you're gonna get me. So any information you want, you're gonna get it from us there. We have a website, Okwara and Associate PC.
Yes, sir. I'll be sure to highlight that for our listeners. And I have to tell you, this has been a very powerful, wide-ranging conversation. So I have to really thank you for bringing your insight, your conviction, and truly, I mean, it's been a global perspective on law, justice, and accountability. Now, I mean, your journey to the U.S., your candid views on the New York judicial system, and even your take on Nigerian politics. This is exactly the kind of dialogue that pushes conversations forward. So,
Thank you.
Valentine, I really have to say thank you so much for joining us and sharing your mind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Top Attorneys podcast. The Top Attorneys celebrates the achievements of leading attorneys across the nation. To be featured, send a message or visit www.topattorneys.us.